guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to TeamSport Stoke. And that's electric karts. So firstly, apologies for any wind noise. Normally it's very minimal as you can hear the engine. All you can hear now is the whining and the tyres squeak. So this is my first ever visit to Stoke. First time in an electric kart. I've noticed already the floor is quite slippery and the instant torque makes it quite hard to keep that car in a straight line. So I've come round, I've been released from the pits first and I've seen green flags, so I'm absolutely going for it. And as I come round this corner I see 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, all of the karts just queuing. So I'm going, well we're still under green flags so I'm just going to go for it. I've seen the grid lights and they change as I get to the line. And I'm like, were they expecting a grid start? But you wouldn't normally have green flags if you were going to have a grid start. I've done one grid started race before at TeamSport and we were under yellows. And there were marshals on the track telling you where to stop. So, yeah, I'm slightly confused at this point. We've come to our flag test and I've come to a slow crawl round under the yellow. And then, as the flags have turned red, I've come to a stop. Unlike the others, who are still, as you can see, just crawling around. And at this point, I'm getting very confused. This guy comes along, does the right thing, and eventually comes to a stop. Then decides to go again. And I'm really confused at this point, and they're still going around. And at this point I'm thinking, did I miss something in the briefing? Because obviously I'm not in the briefing. This is my first. The marshal shouts something, so I move up just to see if he's waving his hands, but no, he was telling them to stop. And yeah, being a member, I don't go to the briefings, but this is my first visit to Stoke, and I was like, maybe they're going to do it differently, and maybe they were going to do a grid start. But yeah, I was very, very confused at this point. So when we do eventually go to green, or yellow again, we go straight to green actually. I actually stuck behind these two karts just in case they brought us round slowly and did do a grid formation. But again, we're under green flag, so I don't see why that would have been the case. But yeah, I was very confused at this point, so I'm just sitting behind them. I'm not going to pass. It's a short track, short lap. I'm still seeing a green flag with no marshals. For some reason I've then decided to sit behind for another lap. Although I nearly drove into the back of him there as I wasn't expecting quite that speed. But yeah, I've decided to just do another lap just in case anything happens. Because clearly, look, they're still crawling down at the bottom there. Absolutely crawling along. And I'm just getting more and more confused at this point. Like, my natural instinct is to not hit those barriers, but my natural instinct is to just drive straight round them all. But after what I just saw at the top there, I'm even more confused. So I just keep following these two, having a quick glance around, and I'm seeing, yeah, they're not grid starting. So let's just get on with it. So that's one past anyway because he's done something weird through the first corner, and then I'm straight round the outside for this one. I'm on it now. I'm just going to go. Not sure what actually was going on. They're all just going very, very slowly to start with. So TeamSport website has an average lap time here of 36 seconds. This is my first visit. Wasn't really sure what to expect. Hadn't really looked up videos online of the track. It's not. I don't think it's overly beneficial to do. I've probably watched one or two maybe in the past, but nothing recent. So yeah, quite happy. That's a 39 minute. Hopefully that's still building up and finding some lines. I'd looked on the BIKC qualifying is currently active, currently live I guess, and I've looked at the chart on that to see. So the adult fastest lap was a 32 second, and the cadet fastest lap was a 37 seconds. Wasn't going to be aiming for those times, but, well, certainly not the adult time. But I'd watched like the previous couple of sessions prior to me going out as well, and yeah, I think I'd set myself with wanting to get past the 37 seconds. So 39 bud into a quick red flag. So red flag done. I've reacted slowly to the lights, but it doesn't really matter because I was over the line, so I'm already on a slow lap. And we're already at that 30-second mark, so there's no way this is going to be a quick lap. But that doesn't matter. I do like this top section, and towards the end of my visit I was flat out throughout the whole thing, just letting the car understeer and it was putting itself in, which was quite nice. So yeah, you may have noticed this track is incredibly slippery. With these electric karts you've obviously got the instant torque, and yeah, I think the throttle pedal, while there is some like element of being able to control the throttle, it very much acted like an on-off switch. Whether that was just my kart, there was a lot of travel in the pedal to get it to actually move, and I found that particularly tricky. Maybe I just needed more time to get used to it. You can see how much everyone is sliding around. You just touch the throttle and your wheels are spinning from these low speeds. So yeah, just fighting my way through all the karts. That top section there is actually quite grippy as the kart spins out in front of me. I just clipped the back of him there. Yeah, that top section is quite grippy and you can really go for it, whereas this is quite slippy, then it gets grippy. This is very slippy on brakes there. You need to just tap the brake to get yourself slowed, but they will instantly lock, so it's not the best. This concrete is very slippy. And then you get onto the wood and it's grippy again. All the way through here it's grippy. So you're flat out. You can do all of that flat out without having to worry. And then you just start to lose the grip from here. This one's a bit grippy again. And yeah, as you come down these two steps, minding the spun out kart. And another one, it's very tricky to just keep it in a straight line. There's grip tape down here, but it's clearly been down for a very long time and it's very worn out. So I was experimenting with some different lines, avoiding the spun out karts, seeing what I could do to what felt fast. Obviously as I'm going around I don't know what my times are. This track layout I couldn't quite see the timing screen, it's up there. You can't quite read that as you're driving around. And then you come around this corner, come around here to find a kart directly in front of you under green flags. They were quick. Well, they did respond eventually and the red flag did come out. I'd have appreciated that being there a little bit sooner, but at least it's a nice quick issue to resolve. I think I'd have rather seen that red flag as I was at the top rather than seeing the kart and then the red flag. But you can't expect everything. There are only two marshals essentially running the track, which is fine for this short track. They can see, the upstairs marshal can see down the ramp and things like that, so it does work out alright, I think. Clearly TeamSport were happy with their setup, so that's, who am I to question it? So another slow lap obviously with the red flag there, and we're into my fastest lap now, so I'm going to let this one play out. So there we go, 36.4, I'd managed to beat my target of that 37-second lap. So I'm quite happy at this point. I'm feeling confident. I've just about got used to the difference with the electric kart, I think. Still haven't quite found the best way to drive it grip-wise, but speed and line braking is different because I'm guessing they're not hydraulic brakes, as you'd normally have, and yeah, they're certainly different, but quick enough to get used to that they work, and obviously they work, they're brakes. They work well, and the way the pedal works, there's resistance in it, and you can feel the brakes blocking, just not as easy as you could with hydraulic brakes, I guess. The throttle, as I say, is pretty much an on-off switch. As you can see, everyone's struggling down on the concrete to keep the car in a straight line and keep any speed. You're sitting in a slightly different position because you're sitting, I guess, on top of the batteries, so you're sitting slightly higher. It's not by much, but it's enough that you notice it. And so the centre of gravity, I guess, is slightly higher, although you have got all the batteries below you, so maybe that makes up for it. But overall, it was a lot of fun. I'm trying to imagine, as we're going around here, I'm trying to imagine using an electric car at the Sheffield track. It's obviously my local where I go to a fair bit, and it's quite a grippy track compared to this. Whether that's the level of torque from the karts that's make the difference in the grip, or whether it is actually the surface. The concrete looks very different to the eye. It looks very polished and not particularly worn compared to the Sheffield track. I don't know the difference in age in the tracks, so maybe there's something there as well. But yeah, I like the track, good fun, nice short circuit that drives well, flows well, and the electric karts certainly are different. Certainly enjoyed visiting a different track. And trying to learn all the new lines, and certainly enjoyed trying to go around those hairpins, not sideways. That lap's actually slightly cleaner. As I go through those first two down the ramp, they were less sideways than previous laps. But yeah, it's a good fun track. This was a fairly slow group. Thankfully in the second session they did get a bit quicker. They were about, most of them were about a second and a half behind my fastest lap time. So they were doing mid 37s to low 38s. So yeah, worked well for them. They all had fun. It was two groups of people, I think. But yeah, they enjoyed themselves as we come round on what is ultimately the final lap. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please do like the video, leave a comment down below, avoid the broken or crashed cart at the top there, avoid the slidings, have fun. Do subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and I will join me next week for the second session of this video, where I have a nice, fun battle with another kart for a few laps. Cheers.